G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. This is Super Rugby Review. This is the Melbourne Rebels versus the Highlanders. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Wildcard, isn't the Melbourne Rebels your favorite team? You're damn right it is my favorite team. Okay, I used to stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning, watch the Rebels choke against the Cats. Okay, and finally, the Rebels is great for the first time in its history. And yes, the plaguing issues of choking, right, under pressure and not able to play the game of rugby and wanting to kick 3 points all the time, right, and not able to perform, 2 games in a row with any sort of decent consistency, right, all of that has finally been washed away in this current Rebels team. Yes, what's more, impressive with the current Rebels team is the fact that the club is financially in big trouble and they don't even have a lot of their support staff that is left in the club anymore. They all just got cut, got fired, literally got let go because the club don't have the money to pay for them. So the players are literally left to bootstrap this team essentially themselves. And what a performance once again this week. Backed up their performance last week against the Enduros, this week against the Highlanders, 47 points to 31. There were periods in the game where the Highlanders were making a comeback against the Rebels, and unlike the previous Rebels teams, they did not just choke. Oh my god, let's try to kick 3 points, hold on to the lead, guys. In fact, if the Rebels actually decided to take 3 points when the Highlanders were making the comeback, instead of sticking to their guns, sticking to their balls, and pushing through with determination to keep scoring tries, they probably would have lost this game. Yeah, they stuck to the guns and they walked out 47-31, and that is the difference you're going to make. Sometimes I talk about this a lot. You go for the penalty, you go for the easy option, you're actually losing your own momentum. You're actually, if you go for the tries, you might not always get the scoreboard. You might not get the scoreboard points that you want, but you have done damage to the opposition in terms of tiring them out, by wearing them down with pressure. You put pressure on them mentally as well. And all of that compounds over time. And you're going to get the payoff later in the game. Yes, just because you didn't score that 3 points earlier, later on, you would have got the better result, bigger dividend out of it later on in the game. Like Lancaster scoring that intercept right at the end. It was just completely due to the Highlanders, exhausted, sloppy pass, intercept, try, right? That would not probably have happened if the Highlanders were giving a lot of time, right, to take a break whilst you take a 3 points, right? So that is a lot of this intangible, intangible damage, intangible benefits that you get for putting pressure in your opposition. And that has been overlooked by a lot of teams, especially Australian teams over the years. That's something that I think the Rebels have finally turned the corner and getting that out of their system, putting the pressure on all the way till the end, and winning with beautiful, try right at the end to Lancaster. And also, the Rebels has been learning some of the playbooks from the best in the world as well. Taniela Tupou coming off the bench. Initially, it looked like it was coming off late for the last 20 minutes because he had a bit of a lingering injury issues. They're just trying to ease him back into the game. Nowadays, it's clear. It's a very clear strategic decision to put Tupou off the bench. He came off the bench 45 minutes on the clock, 5 minutes into the second half. Same thing what the South Africans do with Ox Incha. To have someone with that scrum specialty to come off the bench and immediately make an impact on the scrum and try to get that penalty right away for your team, right? To get that front foot early in the second half for your team. Really, really crucial. World Cup winning strategy, and the Rebels is implementing that with Taniela Tupou. And what people don't kind of realize is this. People kind of look at this and go, oh man, surely if you put Tupou in the first half, you wouldn't make a big difference as well. But, by putting Tupou on the bench, a lot of people fail to understand is he has done damage to the Highlanders before the kickoff. Yes, the Highlanders had to put Ethan de Groot, the best loose-head prop in New Zealand right now, and one of the best loose-head prop in the world, just to match up with the Tupou coming off the bench. Yeah, and that is already disruptions to the Highlanders team. Because as soon as, De Groot came onto the field, the Highlanders set piece drastically improved, not just in scrummaging, in lineouts as well, and obvious, and without De Groot for the first half, in fact, the fact that they have to put De Groot on the second half means that the De Groot can only play 35 minutes instead of 60 minutes, something that the Highlanders will probably prefer to have him play instead of 35 minutes. So that's already damage being done to the Highlanders before the game has even started. And on top of that, I feel like some of the decisions for the Highlanders in the first half, like kicking the penalty, when they were like in the front foot with a lot of momentum going for them, I was scratching my head a bit. I'm like, why are they kicking 3 points when you could just go for the line out? You feel you have the momentum is clearly with you. And maybe it is because the fact that they don't have that confidence. Because De Groot is not on the field. Because they have to, redo their line out. A lot of the line out options during the week to adjust to the fact that they don't have Ethan De Groot in the first half. And that's already damage dealt to the Highlanders before the kickoff, right? So stuff like that, like world-class ideas that's been brought into the Rebels, it's already seeing like just beautiful results for the team as well. And another thing with the Highlanders as well, there was one point where they opted to take a 3-point. This was 40 meters out, literally close to the sideline, and everybody in New Zealand knows Gilbert is not a good goal kicker, and they somehow opted to kick for 3, especially when they had the Rebels kind of like on a bit of a low at that point, and the Highlanders were having momentum behind them. I really did not understand why they even tried that 3-point, but maybe it is because of the fact that they're not confident with their set piece because the lack of Ethan De Groot. That's the only explanation I can have, because a lot of times, a team, especially if they have the momentum against them, would really want you to take the penalty. And the Highlanders yeah, we'll take the penalty and allow you to slow the game down a little bit, give you guys a breather, which, really was bad decision there by the Highlanders. Something that the coaching staff needs to have a rethink about how they approach some of the decisions to take 3 points. And then in the second half, like I said, when De Groot was on the field, Highlanders were chasing the game, put pressure on the Rebels, and the Rebels was able to stick to the guns and hold on. And another thing about Rebels is that Carter Gordon, such a good performance once again. I mean, Carter Gordon was identified last year by Eddie Jones, has that energy, that always get-go sort of like style and energy behind him. And this current Rebel, a lot of times last year, it's just, you can see Carter Gordon doing everything, and the teams were just not really on the same, energy level as Carter Gordon. But this year, all the players are on the same level. When Carter Gordon lifts, everybody lifts, responds, lifts around him. Everybody kicks up a gear as well. And it just really starts seeing the results on the field, on the scoreboard as well. And so that's just another massive benefit to the Rebels. And it's kind of like Carter Gordon's finally having the team behind him instead of just watching him do stuff. Everybody's getting behind him and helping him do stuff as well. And 2 tries for Carter Gordon are really impressive as well. So yeah, with that being said, let's have a look at the match stats for the game. It's only 7 tries to the Rebels, to the Highlanders 4. There's a glitch in the system where every time there's a penalty try, there was a penalty try for deliberate knock on. So it's actually only 7 tries. That's a mistake. 476 meters run meters for the Rebels, 423. The Highlanders did have plenty of run meters, but the Rebels were just stuck to the guns and went toe-to-toe with Highlanders. 9 turnovers conceded for the Rebels. Really well done. Really was able to retain that possession quite well. The Highlanders, 11 turnovers conceded, so not too bad either. 143 tackles for the Rebels, 18 missed tackles. Let's have a look at 18 missed tackles for the Rebels. 7 tackles made, 21 missed tackles for the Highlanders. So not too bad for both teams in terms of completion rate, but Rebels, 18 missed tackles, something that's definitely much improved in that tackle count as well. 20 kicks for the Rebels in kicks from hand, and 19 for the Highlanders. 1 missed conversion for Carter Gordon. Not a difficult kick. The first one, he completely shanked it. He always has one of those shocking kicks. For some reason, Carter Gordon. But he was able to regather himself for the rest of the game and get all the rest of the kicks down 5 out of 5. The remaining 5 out of 5. There was one kick that was missed by Gilbert. Like I said, 40 minutes out. I didn't even know why they went for that option, but it was just complete waste of their own opportunity there. Lineouts was 50-50 for the whole game. Both teams were losing the lineouts a little bit due to pressure, and just I think the Highlanders probably had a little bit better rolling more. Was a little bit better there once Ethan de Groot came on in the second half. But overall, I thought the lineouts were just a bit of a mess for both teams in that regards. The scrummaging was quite even. I thought maybe the Highlanders had a little bit of advantage in the first half. Second half, despite the threat of Tupou coming onto the field, there was only 2 scrums, I think, in the second half. The first one, it looked like de Groot had a bit of an advantage over Tupou, and then the second scrum was just late in the second half. Both teams were just stayed on their ground, and nothing really happened there. The one thing that the Rebels definitely want to work on is the penalty count. 14 penalties conceded, and Highlanders only 8. Yeah, nowadays the good Super Rugby teams really aiming at giving away less than 10 penalties, especially if you go up against a team like the Chiefs. Damien McKenzie would just convert that 14 penalties into a lot of free points on the field, and so luckily Gilbert wasn't that great of a goal kicker. But if this was against the Chiefs, the scoreboard pressure would be a lot higher from those penalties. And there was one yellow card given away against the fullback for the Highlanders, Neekins. He has a really long name. Ratu Matavuki Nipkins. Deliberate knock on. He was a bit of an overlap. He had no really other options, and it was a yellow card and a penalty try. Yeah. So let's quickly recap the game. A lot of points being scored. Rebels got themselves on the ball 2 minutes into the game. Lots of crash balls. Big run for the prop. Lalakai and quick balls, short balls and crash balls, short crash balls. Kemley got really close to the try line, and then Lawrence picked up the ball and saw there was no one in front of him. Darts the ball down. Try time. 5 points. Carter Gordon shanked this one. This wasn't a hard kick at all. Missed the kick. 10 minutes into the game, there was a Highlanders got themselves on the board. There was a nice break down the sideline. The Highlanders, they went like 50 meters pretty much, and then the Highlanders was just a few meters short. It was penalty advantage, crash ball, and then Worthy goes over for the first try for Highlanders. 5 points to 7. On the 17 minutes into the game, Highlanders had another opportunity for a penalty, and they decided to take 3. And here's where I was like, why did you take 3? You have the momentum on your side. The Melbourne Rebels is scrambling. Why did you take the 3 points? The All Blacks, back when Richie McCaw was playing, used to literally give away penalties on purpose if the momentum is against them. To just try to stop your momentum, give you a breather. So literally they would just give you a penalty and just be like, yep, take the 3 points. We're going to regather ourselves. We're going to let you come down a little bit. So then the momentum can potentially swing back to the All Blacks' favor. Something that they would do on purpose for the penalty. So Highlanders really failed to recognize that the momentum was significantly on their side at this point, taking the 3. Sure, you got 3 points on the board, but it was definitely the wrong option here. 5 points to 10. Sure enough, a few minutes later, 20 minutes into the game, the Rebels got themselves in front. They just spread the ball away to Lancaster, 1-on-1 with the fullback on the sideline. He grab a kick, the ball behind. And full race, he got there first. Lancaster, try time, 12 points to 10. Pure individual abilities. 23 points, 23 minutes in the game. Again, another penalty. This one just really left me scratching my head. 40 minutes out near the sideline, Gilbert takes a kick. Wasn't even anywhere close. It was short. And I didn't know why they'd even opted for this option. Completely waste of an opportunity there. 27 minutes into the game, Rebels had a nice little inside ball. Gordon to Kemley. And the ball kind of went to the ground, and then quick ball was just recycled by the halfback, spread it out wide, and then there was a bit of an overlap. The fullback, like I mentioned before, deliberate knock on to stop the overlap from scoring out wide. And what's his name? The number 14 winger was like, what? Missed an opportunity there. So it was penalty try, yellow card, 27 minutes in, 19 points to 10. And 40 minutes into the game, just before half time, the Rebels didn't just take the easy 3 points. Again, they wanted to go into halftime with pressure, with points on the board. They went for the try. They got inside I think it was around the 22-meter mark for the Highlanders. Anyway, the ball went to Andrew Callaway. He kind of like threw the ball over the top of his head without even looking to Lancaster, who ran down the sideline, got really close to the try line. He put the ball down to release the ball, got back up on his feet and scooped the ball back up, and then he bumped himself over for the try. A lot of people were talking about he like knocked the ball on when he put the ball down, because when the ball hit the ground, he rolled forward a little bit. But the referee was said that was fine. I thought, yeah, probably could have been a knock on, but it didn't look like he tried to put the ball down to release the ball. It didn't look like he was, trying to. He actually did not look like he lost control of the ball. It looked like he put the ball down and the ball rolled forward. That's what it looked like. So you could argue that was a knock on, but I thought it was a 50-50 call. You could see it either way, but I think that was fine because he didn't lose control of the ball. When the ball was placed onto the ground, the ball just rolled forward once it hit the ground, like he was releasing the ball to after the tackle was made on him, right? So that was something that people were talking about. Anyway, second half, 45 minutes in, it's Tupou time. Tongan Thor enters the battlefield, and then immediately followed by the Groot. I am Groot enters the battlefield to follow suit. And the first scrum, I thought the Groot had probably a little bit of advantage over Tupou, and but really wasn't enough to get a penalty. 56 minutes into the game, there was Highlanders really tried to kick the speed up a little bit. Fakatava, there was a penalty at halfway. Fakatava quick tap, got into about a 22. Another penalty, another quick tap, and got really close to try line. Another penalty. Highlanders kicked the ball out for the line out. The ball went far, and the maul kind of just went towards mid of center field, and then the ball was popped out to Fakatava on the blind side. He ran in, one-on-one, he crashed over, put the ball down backwards. Try time, 26 points to 17. 60 minutes into the game, there was a nice little offload by Tupou. I think it was the Tupou popping the ball to Andrew Callaway, who ran a little break. He got tackled inside the Highlanders 22. Quick recycling. Lawrence got the ball, and Carter Gordon was already sprinting towards the try line. Flat ball to Gordon, crashed straight through the middle, under the post. Try time to the Rebels, 33 points to 17. 67 minutes into the game, there was a penalty against the Rebels. Highlanders went for the bread and butter. They went for the maul. The Ethan de Groot was playing a huge role in setting this ball up front, and they just steady as that, just go straight, just march straight over. Try time for the Highlanders, 33 points to 24. 71 minutes into the game, there was a scrum inside the Highlanders 22. The ball went out, crash ball center field a bunch of times. There was a penalty right in front of the goalpost, and then Lawrence recognized the situation, taking a quick tap, and Carter Gordon read this, already knew what was happening, was again sprinting towards the try line already. Lawrence fly past to Gordon. He bumped himself through for a quick try, and he also had like 3 or 4 players out wide as well, so Gordon could have utilized that as well. And Highlanders was completely caught off guard for freebie. 40 points to 24, 71 minutes into the game. And finally, 78 minutes, the Highlanders was looking for 45 minutes into the game. The Highlanders had a penalty, and they kicked the ball out for a 5-meter line out, right? They throw the ball, and the Rebels did really well to steal the line out. And then as the half, they set up the caterpillar to try to get the box kick. The ball actually rolled out of the foot from the caterpillar, so it didn't actually get all the way to the back to the halfback. And then the referee's like, the ball's out. One of the Highlander players was just like jumping onto the ball, and the Melbourne Rebels halfback Lawrence knocked the ball backwards near his goal line, and then Ethan de Groot just jumped onto it. Try time. It looked like de Groot had knocked the ball on a little bit, but the referee said it was fine. I thought it was fine too, because the ball, it did kind of like rolled a little bit, but it looked like he still had contact with the ball as he grounded the ball, so I thought it was fine. 40 points to 31, and finally 78 minutes in the game, the Highlanders trying to deny Rebels a bonus point, or get a bonus point for themselves rather, for losing within less than 7, and they were just trying to build pressure, and then the ball went out wide, intercept. There was a kind of like a poor pass intercept by Lancaster. He like scooped the ball up on his bootlace, almost knocked it on, and then he ran down 55 meters. Nobody could cash in. Fastest man in the world went in for the try. 47 points to 31. And a massive win for the Rebels. Congratulations. And really, really well done. The Rebels, like I said, maybe I have not mentioned, currently my favorite team in Australia. And, it is performances like this that really draws the fan back into the supporting the team. There's a investor, I think an investment firm looking to buy out the Rebels, and they're gonna save the Rebels, which will be really good. And hopefully that's gonna happen, and not having the Rebels to completely cease to exist. And so really well done. The player has done the fans proud, and look forward for the Rebels game. They have a break next week, and we're gonna have to see what happens in 2 more weeks, and if this form is gonna continue for the Rebels. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you like this shirt, you can go buy one in my shop, and links down below. And thanks for watching. Maybe there'll be a button come up here somewhere. And thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks to anyone who supports me financially with your donations, membership, subscription. I do appreciate that very, very much. And with that being said, have a good day. I'll see you guys later, maybe for the Champions Cup review. Otherwise, next week for the rugby news. Cheers.